The strange abduction by humanoid extraterrestrial aliens on a secluded mountain road. A resident of Mexico was driving down a mountain road when he was abducted by beautiful humanoid aliens. They did not hurt him, he claims, and they talked to him about their culture and then they let him go. The incident happened at night, January 1954. A man named Armando Zurbarán was driving from Mexico City to Acapulco on an isolated mountain road to meet a business partner in the morning. It was a difficult journey due to the fact that the road went through mountain passes with many turns. At some point, he suddenly saw something shining on the road in front of him, and then he felt something like sleepiness, as if he was very tired. Realizing that he would fall asleep at the wheel, he stopped at the side of the road and looked again towards the place where he saw something shining, and he saw a metal disc hovering just above the road, not far from it, and two people standing next to it. They wore a type of outfit with a wide belt and looked like Nordic-type people, aka Nordic aliens, and both had long blonde hair. Bewildered, he approached these figures and could now see them in detail. They looked like normal men with fair skin, blue eyes, and beautiful hair. And they did something to him, and he calmed down immediately, and then he heard a buzzing inside his head until he was inside the spaceship, their spaceship. After that, one of the two aliens spoke to him in clear Spanish and said, "You are not the first, and you will not be the last on Earth that we will meet. We choose the people to communicate with so that they can best convey our messages," end quote. Armando could not understand what kind of messages they were talking about, but then they started showing him a series of pictures from his life. It was like a dream on the ship's wall that he himself had forgotten. Armando believes that either these creatures have memory wiped his brain or they have been following him since his childhood. The images then stopped and they were informed that their ship was no longer on Earth. This surprised him since he felt no movement of the spacecraft. When he asked them about how the craft moves, they told him that they use a gravity propulsion system. He was told that the vessel would clear out any trash, quote unquote, if they blocked its path, and then allowed him to see the place they took him to, but he saw nothing special, only gray mist and darkness. He was then asked if he wanted to be taken to their planet, and he answered no, he wanted to return to Earth. After that, the aliens took him to different places, and he started to get used to the atmosphere of the ship for what seems like days. He was even allowed to walk around the ship and see what it's like and take a shower, which he was very impressed with. He says, "I will never forget it. This shower was a new and unimaginable experience for me. The wall was full of small holes through which hot air came out. Then, with moist air, they gave me something like a liquid soap, which I myself put all over my body. And then I stood again in front of the sprinklers. The liquid soap began to evaporate from my body, and my skin became clean. Then the air became dry and then cooler," he said. During all these hours, Armando also ate at the same table as these aliens and described their food as very similar to Earth food. There was meat, vegetables, cheese, and butter. They drank a liquid similar to milk and told him that it is the main food on their planet. They also told him that certain products on Earth, such as mangoes, they liked and began to use them widely in their diet. The strange thing was that they had no food supplies on board. Every time they were about to eat the food, it came out of a teleportation beam from an unknown outside source. They told him about their culture. He learned that they lived for at least 250 years, that everyone in their society is equal, and that their lives are subject to the laws of a certain religion, and the deity is called by the word teacher, something like Buddhism. He was finally told that time was up, where they had to return him to his car. Then they dropped him off. He suddenly realized that he had only been gone 90 minutes, despite what felt like several days with the aliens. He didn't even miss the meeting with his partner. Armando Zurbarán did not tell anyone about the story. He just thought he had a strange dream and nothing else. But 15 years later, in 1969, he was hitchhiked on a desert road he was hitchhiking on a desert road near Mexico City by one of the he was abducted on a road near Mexico City by one of these extraterrestrials who was slim, blonde, and blue-eyed. And then he realized that what he had experienced 15 years back was not a dream, and he believes that all these years they were watching him. During the 1950s, there were many accounts of encounters with Nordic aliens, beautiful individuals with blonde hair and blue eyes. Possibly they had some encounters with humans in those years as a kind of experiment, and they have nothing to do with non-human aliens of the great type and the reptilians. Others have to do with those of Earth. Now, this I've translated for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box